This news update is brought to you by...
Rock the remote with hours of free karaoke on video on demand from Flow. So bring it like Bay. There's even wonderful kids sing-alongs too. Available anytime. Simply press the VOD button on your Flow remote. This is how we do TV. This is how we flow.
This is the Barbados Today Evening News Update for Thursday, January 28th. Thank you for joining us. I am Marie-Claire Williams. Our top story this evening, planned protest will go ahead at the Grantley Adams International Airport tomorrow. The National Union of Public Workers had threatened industrial action if airport management did not reply favorably by today to a request for outstanding payments to the workers. Barbados Today's Emmanuel Joseph reports.
Union sources told Barbados Today this afternoon that the NUPW did receive a reply from the airport management today, and the letter said the workers could not get the outstanding wages owed them since 2010. As a result, the sources said there will now be no turning back, and Phase 1 of protest action is definitely on, involving its more than 200 members. It is hoped that the other 200 airport staff, which are represented by the Barbados Workers Union, will show solidarity. The source told Barbados Today that the NUPW members will be bearing placards as they gather in the car park for a couple of hours before returning to their jobs. It's anticipated that tomorrow's protest will dislocate operations at the airport, including the handling of baggage from planes that land. The source warned that if after the protest and management did not come up with a favorable response, there would be an escalation of the action, which did not rule out calling out immigration. Airport authorities have refused to comment on the situation. Yesterday, Minister of Tourism and International Transport Richard Seeley promised he would seek to address the matter. Up to news time, Seeley could not be reached for comment. Emmanuel Joseph for Barbados Today.
One of the main players in the local agriculture industry tells the government to not downplay its role in the island's economic development. Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Agriculture Society, James Paul, was responding to the recent economic review by the Central Bank Governor, Dr. Delal Worrell.
I perhaps want to begin this morning before I go on here by addressing a statement which is purported to be made by the Central Bank Governor, in which there was an assertion that food security and the role that the agricultural sector has to play in terms of maintaining food security for our Barbadians should not be a matter of vital concern in this nation. What we have constantly to be careful of is that we do not downplay the importance of the agricultural sector. And I want to say to the farmers especially who are here this morning, continually, we have an issue in the sector where farmers feel that the role that they play is not significant. Not only that, we have an attitude that says that what we have accomplished, we should not celebrate.
Finance Minister Chris Sinclair says he's not opposed to the privatization of some state-owned agencies, but he says the move will have to be carefully considered. Sinclair was responding to recent public debate on the matter as one alternative to improving government finances. So far, government has announced the intended sale of the Barbados National Oil Company.
If you have a commercial entity and it's making a loss or making a profit, if you have a commercial entity and the government wants to move it, it is much easier to do that than if you have a social service type entity, because you have to take into consideration all of the implications of doing so. So when I hear people say privatization, I ask them, privatize which companies? What are you talking about? You're talking about sanitation services? You're talking about public transport? You're talking about hospital services? Privatize which ones are you talking about? Because each one of those has a particular challenge or set of challenges that would have to be carefully thought about before you go down that road, because it has implications for ordinary citizens in Barbados.
Caribbean countries are receiving assistance to meet their targets to contain temperature rises. Japan and the United Nations Development Program today launched the $15 million Japan-Caribbean Climate Change Partnership at the Radisson Aquatica Resort. It comes on the heels of the Paris Agreement on Climate Change last month, which seeks to keep global warming below 2 degrees Celsius. Countries will also further aim to limit temperature rises to 1.5 degrees above pre-industrial levels. Rebecca Arias is the director of the UNDP's Regional Bureau for Latin America and the Caribbean. She says the program will improve access to sustainable energy and help reduce fossil fuel imports and dependence.
Our ultimate goal is a zero-carbon path that promotes and protects sustainable development. We also support countries in increasing their resilience through disaster risk management. UNDP has also been championing the cause of climate change in the Caribbean for many years, and we are pleased to partner with the government of Japan toward the implementation of climate change pilot projects in 8 Caribbean countries. In light of the COP21 agreement, these projects are timely in assisting countries in reducing their carbon emissions and enabling them to respond more effectively to the impacts of climate change.
The police are seeking the public's assistance in locating 15-year-old Kiana Hurley of Scotts Gap, Britain's Hill. Kiana is about 5 feet 7 inches tall and dark. She walks with a limp. Police say she left home between 6 a.m. on Monday and 5 a.m. on Tuesday and has not been seen since. Kiana is known to frequent the Pine, Cave Hill and Britain's Hill areas. Anyone with information relating to her whereabouts should call emergency number 211 or the nearest police station. The past Dean of the Cave Hill campus of the University of the West Indies, Dr. Frank Aline, is hailing the contribution of the Faculty of Social Sciences to the island's human resources over the past 40 years. The Social Sciences faculty accounts for the majority of the student population at Cave Hill. Sir Frank says before the department was established, the only option available to students was to earn their degrees from overseas universities.
The establishment of the Cave Hill campus is the ladder which have provided social and economic mobility for vast numbers of persons in this Barbados and the OECS countries and further afield. And I think it would be most unwise if the present leadership of the faculty fails to uphold that tradition, because it's akin to climbing on a ladder and then you kick down the ladder.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter. That's the move for me. Stability, prosperity. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
In news from the region, Zika virus has not been detected in St. Lucia, but that country says it is leaving nothing to chance. Health officials have begun hosting training programs for various sectors, particularly the tourism industry. The training is timely as industry representatives say they are worried about the effects of Zika on the vital sector. We get more in this report from HTS News Force.
The fear of Zika virus has prompted several visitor cancellations. Director of Tourism, Louis Lewis, says the consultation with the Health Ministry at this point is imperative.
What is very comforting is that there have been known registered cases in St. Lucia, and there are a number of initiatives that are ongoing to prevent an outbreak on the destination, which we are now going to push out to the various partners and the tour operators and through all our media where people are contemplating visiting St. Lucia, that St. Lucia is still a safe destination. We are quite assured and we are confident of some of the initiatives that have been taking place by the Ministry of Health to ensure that we remain a safe destination. And I think that is the greatest benefit that we've had from this meeting here today.
And finally, the UK government says it will accept unaccompanied child refugees from Syria. That's in addition to the 20,000 migrants who will be resettled in Britain over the next 5 years. We get more in this BBC report.
Half of all refugees are children, some fleeing war and persecution with their families, but many millions end up on their own. At the Calais camp known as the Jungle, desperate young people are knocking on Britain's door, pleading for sanctuary. This 15-year-old from Syria says he has a brother-in-law in the UK and just wants to be a schoolboy again.
The government is under intense pressure to do more to help the vast numbers of unaccompanied children who fled from Syria and other war zones. Some charities say the UK should accept at least 3,000 more. But instead, ministers have come up with a plan which they say will discourage vulnerable children from arriving on Britain's doorstep.
The government's plan focuses first on the conflict regions themselves. Working with the United Nations, Britain will help assess the scale of the child welfare problem. But only in exceptional circumstances will they bring any children to the UK.
That's the evening news. There's more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also, tune into Channel 101 on Flow TV or Mix 96.9 FM for more news and sports. I am Mary Claire Williams. Good evening.